Hi, good day, good night, good evening, depending on what time you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another episode of House of Stars. I'm your girl Star, and today I am doing a video on Kenneka Jenkins. This story is like really something that like really hit home for me. Just because, being younger, there's a lot of people I know that have been put in these situations before. People I've grown up with, even times that there were situations where what happened to her, being a gang rape, if that could have almost happened to me at times when I was a teenager. And I think it's imperative to bring awareness to teenagers that situations, not only the ones that can be put in the situations, but even the people that put these little girls in these situations, to be educated on what gang rape is and, slut shaming and all that stuff is all about. And I'll get into why I'm talking about that, just because I've picked up a little bit of that going on in the situation. I'm not going to necessarily say this is going to be a mediumship, just for the simple fact that sometimes, depending on how the person passed, they don't really cross over right away. And I'm not exactly sure if maybe she would even come to me. If that happens, it happens. But I obviously don't have any direct line to her family members or anything like that. So I just rather stay with kind of trying to go into what I feel could have what took place that night. From channeling the situation. Disclaimer, I'm actually in my washroom. So sorry for the background and stuff like that, and even the audio if it sounds weird. It's late and I have family over, so I don't really have any space to do my video aside from doing it in the washroom. So I hope it sounds good, and if you hear anyone in the background or anything like that, because I'm just kind of in the area where there's a lot of traffic, I will apologize in advance. So let's just get right into it. Just because I don't have much time. So I'm just gonna tap into Kenneka Jenkins. Okay. The first thing I'm getting about this young girl is that I feel like whoever she went out with that night, I feel like if anything, she was probably familiar with specifically one person that was out with her that night, and if not a second person. Like, she knew people, but I feel like she was only really close to one other person that was with her that night. I get the sense that what happened is that whoever, it already been shown that one girl that was orchestrating the whole thing. I think that she's obviously one of those girls that tries to be down, tries to act like she has it all together, things like that. But I get the sense when it comes to Kenneka, this person had a perception of her based on a reputation that she thought she had. So that's what I feel like what happened. Like, when you're young, obviously you're young, dumb, full of clum. Like, depending, you may do stupid things, maybe sleep with one guy, or maybe you sleep with two guys that happen to know each other. And when you're that young and as a teenager, when rumors go around, you're automatically called a slut. You know what I mean? And I feel like it was one of those situations where she already carried a reputation. Not necessarily like the reputation was exactly suited to her, but based on assumptions, that's all it took. So I feel like the night started was like they got there. I think they got the drinking. I get the sense that Kenneka was drinking before she even got there. I don't feel like she was sober at all when she got there. I feel like she's already had a few drinks. So I get the sense that what it is, I'm almost getting the feeling like maybe Kenneka, I don't know if Kenneka smokes weed, but I get the sense like it's one of those situations where she must have wanted to talk to one of the guys because she wanted something. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the reason why how she got lured into that situation, is wanting something. Like, because I see her like standing around, it's like she wants something. Like, she's like, if it's, for example, like, who got weed? Like, who's holding? Like, who has Molly? Who got sis? Like, it's like whatever it is, it's like she's like sitting there, she's trying to look for an amplification, like to amplify whatever influences she was already under. I get the sense that the situation started off with one boy, and it just kind of started to domino into like 2 or 3 other boys. It's funny because I actually see a guy that's there and I feel like he was really young. Like he's like not like substantially younger than them, but I would say like he could have been like 16 where they're like 19 or something, because I see like a younger, browner skin kind of guy that was there. And that's what happened. It was one of those situations that it got aggressive though, because I feel like when it comes to Kenneka, I feel like she is a person that she's very boisterous. She has a mouth. So it was a situation where it did get aggressive a bit and it turned to obviously her rape. I get the sense that what happened when it came to the situation where she left, I feel like she was kicked out. Like I feel like she was somewhat kicked out. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how aggressive she was kicked out of the space, but she was definitely kicked out. What I'm seeing is whoever put her in that freezer, and this is a big claim for my career. And if I'm wrong, I'll take it. I'm not God. Whoever put her in that freezer, I'm not sure if it totally had to do with the guys at the party. Like I'm getting this sense, because I'm seeing this guy, unless he was at the party, he's a lighter skinned guy. He could either pass for like he's wearing an olive size, so he either pass for like an Asian or a Hispanic guy. And I'm seeing him and he has a bald head. And I feel like it's like either you try to hit on her or something, but I feel like it was like when that whole freezer thing ended up happening, it was like a joke thing. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck you, bitch, like, and throw you into the freezer. Okay, he could have been with the guys. I feel like it's like the reason why the tapes don't want to be released or whatever the case may be, because there's something that was done wrong on the behalf of either the security or the staff of the hotel. I can't say, there's at least 2 people, I'm not going to say, that did not know what was going on. So that's the reason why they're scared to come forward. Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the guys that she was hanging around, this is Chicago we're talking about here, is probably some serious type of guys that are connected to some serious kind of people. And it's like people would rather keep themselves quiet than actually deal with the situation. But I get the sense that the story is going to come out within the next 3. So I think from now, within the next 3 weeks, somebody's going to come forward, and I feel like it's a female, and she's going to actually tell publicly exactly what happened to the events that night. I feel like there's going to be 2 boys that are going to be prosecuted for what happened. I also do feel a sense that there's some people that got paid off. That's what I keep on hearing, is paid off. But 2 specific males I feel like are going to get caught for this crime. I feel like there's more, obviously, but I see 2. So I see within the next 3 weeks, some of this will come to the surface. There is going to be some injustice in this situation because, at the simple fact, there's still a lot of missing pieces in the puzzle. That is going to cause issue for making certain things really stick. But I do feel like through the situation, there's going to be some advocacy that's going to happen. Obviously, there's people are protesting for her justice. I don't know. I see T-shirts. Well, that's typical, but I see T-shirts being made. I also see some kind of honor memoriam or something. I even feel like there's going to be a song that's going to be written because of this situation. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a situation where Amber Rose may get involved in some way. But overall, this whole situation is going to bring it's going to be a historical story that's going to go a long way to help girls, especially teenage girls that are in situations where they're hanging out or partying with other men and alcohol involved and things like that. I don't know why I feel like there was something else in her system, though. I don't think it was just alcohol. There was something else in her system, because I just don't feel like that feeling like that you're that drunk that you don't. Well, she could have got locked in there and couldn't get out, of course. But like there's a part of her that like how she was coherent and that she was not that coherent doesn't give me the vibe like, okay, only alcohol was involved. There was also something else. There was another girl that had either a gang rape or was like forcefully engaged in sexual acts with another male as well. I don't know if it's in a stairwell or something, but I heard stairwell. But I do feel like there's another girl that got caught up in the act as well. This is typically a situation of like hanging out with a friend that's a little bit more sexually promiscuous, and you're guilty by association, and then she got into the situation. That's what I'm seeing. But I do feel like Justin in some way will be prevailed. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, God is the final ruler. And it's unfortunate that this young girl's life had to be taken in order to bring awareness. But sometimes God also, like, it's almost like he chooses like ascended masters or like angels of certain situations and things like that to be the face of a certain movement that needs to be a certain movement or a certain sense of knowledge that needs to be put over teens or like the influential age, because this situation happens way too often and it's always a closeted situation. Not only does it happen and it's a closeted situation, this situation happens to a lot of girls. And usually this results in slut shaming, a lot of them dealing with, issues of rape and PTSD that, result in them kind of living a more promiscuous lifestyle. Sometimes it even leads into women, getting into sexual industry, things like that, are lower vibrating ways of living. And I feel like where she is going to be like the face of teaching the millennials and the younger children how to be much more careful. So that's what I see so far. I wish I could go into it deeper. I don't have that much time. But I do want to thank you so much for watching this right now. If you haven't got a chance to, make sure that you subscribe and make sure you pray for the family. Prayers always work. So if you want to get a reading, make sure that you hit me up. All the information is in the description box and I'll get to you as soon as I can. So I do want to thank you so much for your time and rocking with me. May God bless you and the angels protect you. Good night.